just I want to make sure we end this on the right note, in the sense that what would you want someone to get away from these questions? Like, what should be sense that they should get ultimately in a summary, like 1 word or 2 words?
I say look at your budget. Look at what you're spending money on, and understand how much you spend on healthcare, and understand on how much you spend on retirement and executive compensation. And when you see the numbers and you see how big they are, you've got to be smarter. And probably the worst thing that happens is they're relying on the lowest common denominator to give them advice. The person selling a retirement plan for a company, most of the time doesn't even stick around after they sell the plan to the company. They go off and sell somewhere else, and they never are connected again with the company. But that's the person who's writing the plan. That's the person that's negotiating the whole situation with the HR person that's setting it up. And this is very, very common. I'm smarter about this, and more importantly, I'm a business lawyer, and I look at this in terms of every single client. I do the exact same thing. I sit down and I think, if I'm that person and I have this project sitting in front of me, and they're not an expert on that project, but I am. I know exactly what 5 things I've got to consider, and which choices I have to make, and which costs I have to consider. And that's really what my job is to educate them so they can make that decision in a smart, intelligent, and more importantly, long-term situation. Because what happens most of the time is you set stuff in motion, and it either works out or it doesn't work out. If it doesn't work out, change it, do something better. If it does work out, continue it. And that's really a lot of what my counsel is to come in, and I'll tell you, I'll give you that advice, that I would do. This is what I would do in this situation. And that's really how I give most of my advice. I say, this is what I would do here. And that's very important to people, because, like I said, I have malpractice insurance in case I'm wrong.
And so how does someone get a hold of you? Like, and we'll post up the links. I know you gave me a couple.
Well, my website is, it was actually a gift from a friend, and I love it because it has a whole bunch of questions on it. But one of the things that I do, my law firm is called the ERISA, ERISA law firm. And, when you search for ERISA lawyer, that's almost always what comes up because it's in the name. Just punch in there. And I do have a thing on my website that says, if you got a question, send it to me and Harley will answer it. And so I do have a process for doing all that. And a lot of times it's really more having people understand what's going on. I want to use a real simple example to show you that. I had a person call me yesterday and said they worked for a very big company, publicly traded national company, and they had been promised a lump sum distribution from the plan when they reached retirement age. And they thought, it had been promised to me a whole bunch of times, and now they're saying I don't qualify for it. And I asked the guy, I said, send me what you've received. Well, he sent me a letter that actually the process that this person had gone through was a lot bigger than what I was talking about. They had actually gone to their lawyers, and they had asked their lawyers, and their lawyers had written an opinion that there's no entitlement to a lump sum distribution. And quite simply, I told the person, you're not going to win this. I don't care what you do or how you do it or what kinds of things you show. It ain't going to happen because the plan doesn't offer a lump sum distribution. And so that's really the types of things that I can do for people is, when I see it's nothing, I'll tell them it's nothing. You can't, you're chasing the wrong thing here. But there are situations that are very egregious, and I've seen things that are just incredible come across the board. But
by the way, I love the headshot on your website. Whoever drew
I had that. It's funny. I had that done at a party. I went to it was a holiday party, and what they do is they had one of the places you could go in was a caricature cartoonist, and they drew a picture of me, and I love that thing. I've tried to use it in some of my professional things, but they won't let me do it.
Well, I was going to ask you, but I was like, I better ask you before I do. But I love that. I love the fact that, Harley, I want to thank you so much. You were so generous with your time. I'll be sure to put up all the links, and anyone that wants to get in touch with you, I'm sure I'll forward them.
Fantastic, and it's I'm a surprising package because I've been around a long time, but the one thing you're going to get from me is a straight line. I hope this whole discussion has illustrated that, because it's very important that people not be afraid of what's going on. I'm very, very transparent. I really want people to understand what they're doing. My best clients ultimately fire me because they don't need me anymore. I don't just teach you what you have to do. I teach you why you have to do it. And that changes the way that you evaluate your benefits. It really does.
Well, that's great.